but I miss this. I
Mm,
miss Side Hustle Saturday. I miss talking to entrepreneurs
entrepreneur. Mhm.
and talking to them about, what are you going through? Or them telling me stories like, I don't wake up like this. It's hard. And,
Yeah.
there's days when I like want to throw in the towel and just go work for somebody. And I'm just Hey everybody, this is Lisa Brown, and this is another edition of Side Hustle Saturday Hustle Talks, and it is Where Are They At Now edition. And I have on here my good friend who I haven't talked to in a while, and that's all on me. But we'll get into that later. Michelle Mitchell of Mitchell Consulting. Michelle, thank you for taking the time for being on the show. Welcome to my podcast that I've reinvented.
Thank you for having me, Lisa. It's always a joy and a pleasure to talk to you.
It's a joy. Michelle and I met back in November of 2022, I believe. She had reached out to me
Mhm.
and said, hey, I would love to be on your podcast. And, how do you feel about us, collaborating and doing something together? And I was like, well, sure. And we put together, I think, 3 episodes of Monday Money Motivation. Say that three
Yes.
times.
Right.
Money Motivation. And they were really good. I mean, people were
Mhm.
like, really tuning in and leaning into the information that Michelle was providing because she knows her stuff. And for the people that don't know Michelle, tell us a little bit about what you do. Now, y'all can see the old episodes on YouTube of the Money
Mhm.
Monday motivation. But Michelle, tell everybody what you do.
Sure. So I am the CEO and founder of Mitchell Consulting. We have been in business now going on 15 years.
Oh wow!
And
Yeah,
yes, this
that's
will be this
amazing.
is our 15th year. Yes.
Mhm,
And I run an accounting firm. So I started out as a solo bookkeeper helping small businesses with
mhm,
their QuickBooks and accounting. And now I have a full team. We help larger businesses now.
mhm,
Um, and we just try to provide education to our audience and to our clients so
mhm,
that they can make sound and confident financial decisions.
mhm,
So
mhm,
that's what we do, and we take the burden out of it because we do it for you.
mhm.
Um, and I know a lot of people can't afford a done for you type of service like that.
Right,
But everything we do is to educate. So we educate first,
right.
and yes, we lean into educating first, and then
Mhm,
you know then we'll maybe have an ask, like ask for you to join a program or, get one of our services or something like that. So
mhm,
we
mhm.
always leaned into education first.
Yeah, when we started talking, I mean, she was dropping gems left and right. I mean, I was like, really? I was taking notes and I was doing the interview. So she she knows her stuff. Now I remember when we first met, it was a power of one. I think you might have had somebody else.
Hmm.
And grown since then.
Yes.
You had a staff. But then
Yes.
I also read in one of your blogs that you had stumbled on, hiring the wrong people.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk. That's a twofold question. So
It
let's
is.
talk to us about, how have you grown since November of 2022 to now? And
Hmm.
then what were some of the bumps in the road that you faced when trying to hire people? Because I'm gonna raise my hand to that one
Right.
because hiring people is no joke.
It is no joke, and nobody teaches you how to do it, right?
No,
Nobody teaches you how to do it. So,
no.
at in 20 22 when you met me.
Mm-hmm.
I was just coming out of the Goldman Sachs program. So I did the Goldman Sachs 10K small business program.
Mm-hmm.
I had in 2020, I know I had Evan and I had Lauren. So I had at least two people, maybe an admin person at that point. And um, we were, just trying to figure it out. I hired, and guess what? Those two people are still with me today.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, they're still with me today.
Uh-huh.
But hiring did not come natural to me.
Mm.
I tried several times before I hit the jackpot and hired Evan. And I
Uh-huh.
was just trying to hire someone to help me with the bookkeeping part, because the one thing people don't understand about bookkeeping is
Mm-hmm.
that it never stops.
Mm. Right. That's
Every
true.
business has financial transactions
Mm-hmm.
every single day.
Right.
Every single day.
Right.
And then us as accountants, we go in and make sure things are categorized properly and they have solid financial reports that they can rely on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was wearing all the hats. Like I was the marketer, I was the salesperson, I
Yeah.
was the content writer, I was the try to figure out the new apps. I was everything.
Yeah.
And I was also trying to set the vision for the company. And I just realized I couldn't do it alone. I had
Mm-hmm.
to figure out what I wanted to take off of my plate
Mm-hmm.
so that I could focus on the things that are going to help grow the business. Now,
Mm-hmm.
people may think that, and they also may think that I can't afford to hire anyone. I could
That
not
comes into
either.
play. Mm.
Yes.
Okay.
So I tried to hire a couple different people to be what I thought I need to replace me in the bookkeeping process,
Right.
right? So I tried to hire people that could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it failed twice. I
Oh,
failed
wow.
twice. I almost lost a client with one of them because she just really thought she was me. Like, honey, excuse me, you don't own this business. You can't make that decision. But I did not give her all the information she needed, nor did I give her the permissions that she needed.
Oh,
She
okay.
did, and also I didn't tell her what I was expecting from her.
Oh,
I just
okay.
wanted her to be me and take some of this stuff off of my plate. So I
Right, right. I'm tired. Just do it.
exactly. I'm tired. I need a work bee. I need a work bee. So I tried that a couple times and
Mhm.
it didn't work. Like it
Right.
was a complete fail. One,
Oh,
I
wow.
hired the wrong person. And two, I didn't set up the culture I wanted them to work in.
Oh, that's important.
Yes. I just
Wow.
hired a person to do some tasks.
A warm body in a chair. That was
Poor
it.
body in a chair. And it failed. And I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs try to do that.
Mhm.
I just need them to do this, take this off my plate.
Mhm.
And they run into problems because they're not clear. They just want, just do this. So then that person is always coming back to you,
Right.
interrupting your day and your
Right.
flow. Okay, what do you want me to do next? Okay,
Right.
I did this, but I ran into that problem. So what do I do next? I didn't
Mm.
have clear documentation on how things worked.
Wow.
I had bullet points, but it wasn't that clear, you know.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So I failed at that.
Mhm.
But the lesson I learned was, oh, let me step back and take
Mhm.
a look at what do I really want and what do I really need.
Mm.
So I had to take a step back. And a lot of entrepreneurs, you're in the heat of, especially in a service industry, like
Yeah.
delivering to the client, right?
Right.
And you don't step back to say, what does this organization need? Because if I'm going to remove myself from part of it,
Mm-hmm.
it needs to be clear to the people who are coming on board
Right.
who we are, what we stand for, and the
Mm-hmm.
types of clients we are serving.
This segment of Hustle Talks is brought to you by Studio 951. Need a game changing marketing strategy? At Studio 951, we help businesses stand out with expert branding, social media management, content creation, web design, and video editing. From crafting eye catching visuals to driving engagement, we bring your brand to life online and beyond. Ready to grow? Let's build something amazing together. Visit studio-951.com today.
Right.
And if we're not, then we get to how do we do the work? But if you don't find the person that's a good fit for who we are, who we
Mm-hmm.
serve, and
Mm-hmm.
the vision that we have going forward, you're
Mm-hmm.
not you're not bringing in the right person.
That's so true. Also, now are you of the mindset that I can teach you a skill set, but I can't teach you how to act or your behavior?
Thank you. Exactly. So
I
as the owner,
Yeah.
yeah, we have to be clear
Mm-hmm.
about the type of environment we
Exactly.
want our customers walking into, right?
Mhm. Right.
Because it's the same thing with sales for customers,
Mm-hmm.
sales for employees. But
Yeah.
if we're not clear about what we're offering and the environment we have created,
Yeah.
then you will accept anybody that comes in who's a warm body.
Yeah.
And then you're disappointed that it didn't work and you wasted all this time training and paying them,
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, you know what? I'll just do it myself.
Exactly. Right. And now
Yeah.
you're right back where you started.
Now you're actually worse off than where you started
Yeah.
because you took some of the money that at and the resources to pay this person, and
Mm-hmm.
now you have no return on that investment.
Mm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you took money out your own household's pocket
Yeah.
to go down this experiment with this person who wasn't right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we as business owners, we need to step back and get clear about
Mm-hmm.
what that is. What environment do I want to operate in?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's just like coming up with that ideal client persona, right?
Exactly.
That ideal employee persona. Who is that person and what are the traits do they have? Because I can't teach you how to be a kind person.
That's
I
true.
can't teach you to be respectful.
No, you can't.
I can teach you how to do the work, but you got to come already with some of these assets and you have to be
Mm-hmm.
aligned with who this company is that you
Mm-hmm.
want to work for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we do need to take time and step back. And if you want to grow, if you want to grow and you want to keep your hair,
Yeah.
right?
And not
These
go
are
gray.
right and not go gray. These are important steps for you to take. And what I find is a lot of, especially side hustlers or new entrepreneurs, they don't want to take the time because they always want to get the bag, get the bag, get the bag.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get in the bag with the wrong people, there's no longevity in that.
No, there's not. 100%. 100%. There is no longevity. So, what is your take on, I want to piggyback off of, and I thought about this today about getting getting the bag, everything's about getting the bag. So, what is your take on sometimes getting the bag may not be what it's all cracked up to be? Sometimes we got to do some stuff for free
Sometimes we do.
depending on the return on investment. How
Correct.
do you feel about that? Do you think that sometimes we got to step back and look at the opportunity than get in the bag?
Absolutely. So my philosophy is all money is not good money.
Right.
It's not. Because you can create so many headaches for yourself that it's going to cost you more than the bag you was trying to get. I'm for real. I have walked this walk and I have been through the fire, right? I have been through this. It's so you really need to step back, just like with your culture, your employees, also with the opportunities that if you don't know what to say no to, you'll say yes to everything and you will pull your hair out and you will turn gray because all money is not good money.
Right.
So when you figure out what good money is for you, then you know what to say yes to and what to say no to. Because some things just doing it for free, do I have the bandwidth to do things for free?
Right.
You got to understand that. You got to know that as the owner.
Right.
Like, I can do podcasts because I'm not doing all the other work. But it allows me to make my business visible so that other people are attracted to it, right? So you got to understand where you're positioned at this point.
Right.
You know, what you can say yes to and what you can say no to. There were times where I have had to say no. You know, there were clients, they were look like great clients, but in our sales process, if you giving me some pushback or you don't get me what we need, it's a no. Because I already know. So I'm sorry. But that's just the way it is. Because I've learned some lessons over the years. And I've taken on clients. And when I didn't take them through my process and I skipped a step, then I get what I'm not expecting. Because I know my process works. And it's because of trial and error that I know it works. So you can't, like, as the owner, you have to identify what those things are. And when somebody has knocked you upside the head about something, you're like, I'm about to fix that. I'm about to close that hole in my bucket. That will never leak again.
No more drips here.
No more drips here. Exactly. Yeah, but you got to take those lessons as you do business and bring them back into your business. If it's something you didn't like, fill the hole.
Right. 100%.
And not let that happen again. And a lot of times it's process and procedure. Like, it's the process you went through is the reason why you got this person.
Right.
And so what can I put in place so that person knows that, oh, that person, like, my business is not for you.
No.
Yeah.
So I know, so back from 2022, what kind of things, I always talk about pivoting for businesses. And so what kind of things are happening new for your business that you are doing now that you didn't do back in 2022?
Yeah, so because I have a team now that I can trust that does a way better job servicing our clients than me because I just, like, I was scatterbrained with them, because I had so many things to do.
Right.
So what I wasn't doing back in 2020 that I'm doing now is I am speaking more.
Oh,
I
wow.
am speaking on stages. Yes.
Okay.
So I have been a speaker at major conferences since 2022. And
Okay.
we're going forth this year. I'm doing in person and virtual workshops. So I'm creating my own workshops because now I have the bandwidth to
Yeah.
create.
Yeah. And that's a big move for you
Yes.
because when you reached out to me, you was like, "Girl, this ain't my wheelhouse. I don't do
Right.
stuff like this." It seemed like I'll never talk to nobody, let alone get on a podcast.
Yes.
So, I mean, kudos to you because you back then you weren't doing anything like that. So that,
No.
that's really growth for you.
Yeah, it's been a lot of growth for me. So back in maybe it was in maybe in 21. I
Mhm.
just didn't consider it like a thing.
Mhm.
But back in 21, my dear friend started a podcast called The Real Money Coach during
Okay.
the like when the pandemic first started, and I was like his second guest on.
Okay.
So I did his podcast, and then I don't know, a few months later, I was back on again, talking about PPP and all that stuff.
Right.
Well, I think the next year he asked me to be his co-host.
Oh,
So I
wow.
co-hosted for 4 years on The Real Money Coach.
Mhm.
And that kind of gave me the legs to like thinking on my feet, like talking to different guests. You
Mhm.
know, I wasn't the main person, but I brought the sparkle to the podcast, I'm telling you. And our audience will tell you that. So that just gave me more confidence.
Yeah, it does,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
It just gave me more confidence. And
Mhm.
now I'm able, like, I'm speaking on stages.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just want to touch on that a little bit. Not only does it give you more confidence, but I think it gives you the ability to walk into a room with anybody
Anybody.
and
Yes.
speak to them and talk
Hmm.
to anybody. No
Yes.
bars hold. I don't care who
Hmm.
you are,
Yeah.
because you just get this confidence builder,
Hmm.
and you could chat with anybody.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's hiding behind that rock or tree or whatever, what have head in the sand, whatever you want to call it, I would strongly encourage you to do things to get yourself out in front more. Whether
Yes.
it's like you said, a webinar,
Hmm.
whether it's teaching a class,
Hmm.
going on live,
Hmm.
doing a podcast,
Yeah.
get out there, networking. I mean,
Networking. Yeah.
just networking, period.
Yeah.
That helps you like build yourself up, and you're able to just hop on there. And I wouldn't say wing it, but quick on your feet.
Yeah, quick. Yeah, it made me quick on my feet. I'm able to, listen to the questions that a
Mhm.
guest may have and then come back with a reply, right?
Right, right. It's
Or
like,
ask a different exactly, or ask a different, more engaging questions, So it allowed me to do that. And one of the guests that we had on the show was
Mhm.
she was gonna be hosting a conference.
Mm.
And after the show, she asked me if I would present at her conference. And I'm like, present what?
Mm.
Me, yeah. So in 2023, I did her viral networking conference and I
Yeah.
collaborated with her in a co-authored book. So, you just never know where your opportunities might come from. But
Mhm.
as the business owner, you have to have the bandwidth in order to work on these projects.
Right.
So, since me being on her stage, I was on a major accounting conference stage last year.
Oh,
And this year, I will be speaking at a different accounting conference from the main stage.
look at you,
So
girl.
things are
Awesome.
like I was working today on my little like my little landing page, my little speaker page, because I got some accolades behind me now. I'm
Right.
comfortable
Mhm.
with the content that I talk about.
Mhm.
So you can strike up a conversation with me and I can talk for 30.
There, like we just did. No.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's really taking your business to the next level when
Uh-huh.
you really have put in place, um, a team and processes to help take some of that stress off of you so you can actually focus on being visible for the company and bringing in new business.
Right. 100%. And I
And
don't think people look at it like that. I think they look
right,
at it like, I gotta get more clients. But business growth is more than just adding more clients to the books or selling
exactly.
extra product. It's
Mhm.
about, like what you said, it's different things. Like I spoke, I'm teaching now.
Yeah,
I wrote an ebook, or
right,
I'm teaching classes on how to make that candle instead of me
right.
making it.
Exactly. So you need to lever as entrepreneurs, and I know some side hustlers are probably like, I ain't about to do that. But as you evolve as a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
this is your role. Like,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the Black community,
Mm-hmm.
97% of the businesses in the Black community have
Mm-hmm.
one employee, and that's the owner.
Wow.
One employee.
97%?
Yes, and that's the owner.
Mm.
Just think how much wealth we could build if
Mm-hmm.
we can just duplicate ourselves.
Wow.
Just duplicate ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're helping another family
Mm-hmm.
to bring income into their household.
Right.
It doesn't seem as though you're selfish
Mm-hmm.
because you're sharing the wealth, right?
Right.
So I would ask the community to take a look at how they could do this, how
Mm.
they can bring in another person into their business that can rely on that income. And when I tell you it's scary.
Mm-hmm. It is scary to,
Yes.
because now you're like, Dad, I gotta keep the business afloat because I've got families.
Families.
It's a heavy, sometimes it can be, I start to
Your
hyperventilate.
palpitations.
Right. I start to
Your-
palpitate over here because I to have that heavy responsibility, but
Yes.
I go the contractor route. That's the lane I'm living in right now.
Yeah, and
But
it's okay to live in the contractor lane.
mhm,
It's okay to
yeah.
live in the contractor lane, but when you wanna make big leaps,
Yeah.
employee is the way to go. I'm
Mm,
telling you from experience.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
From experience, because these people are dedicated to
Hmm.
your business, and
Right.
they don't have multiple other business that they're also trying to manage.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it does make a big difference.
It
And
does.
and it's scary. So just so you know, so my team, I have 5 people on the team, right?
Right.
Girl, why 3 of them pregnant? They
Three.
expecting babies.
Oh
I'm
God.
like, what y'all really trying to make my heart palpitate? Now I gotta support babies. Like y'all bring it in, babies.
Exactly. What's
Yes.
in the water over there, Michelle? When you got three
Girl,
here.
let me tell you, and we're virtual, so they don't all drink the same water. They not all in the same country. But 3 of my team members right now are expecting
Oh,
babies between March and June.
oh my God. So
Yes.
now, oh my, that's a whole different conversation.
It's
Now
a
you
whole
got
different
like,
conversation. It is. It is. And also, like the business has to be able to support
hmm,
them being away from the business, right? Because
yeah,
I want them to spend time with their newborn.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But just like me, when coming through in 2022, I took my first 4-week vacation. Like
Oh
I was gone
wow,
away from the business for 4 weeks.
oh wow, really?
And the business ran like it was fine. We didn't lose any
Mhm.
client. Like I onboarded a new employee while I was gone
Oh, okay.
because we have the processes in place to do that. But
Mm-hmm.
now it's not about me, it's about the team. So
Right.
now can they get pulled out the business for
Mm-hmm.
maternity leave and the business still runs.
Right.
And it doesn't come back to my plate because ain't nothing coming back on my plate.
Too busy out here speaking and whatnot.
Right. Yeah. So it's the evolution of business. And that's what has happened since 2022 to now. And now I have this whole dynamic of now we have babies coming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's been fun though. It's been fun and I really do enjoy it. I really love my team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, as entrepreneurs, you know how we go through ebbs and flows.
Yes.
And, how would you or what would you say to somebody that's an entrepreneur right now? It ain't flowing, it's
Right.
ebbing,
Mhm. Look, we went through an ebb last year. Mitchell
Really?
Consulting went through an ebb last year. Yes.
So what advice would you give to someone and how did you handle that?
I would say be anchored in your why.
Oh, wow.
Why are you doing this? Because I
Mhm.
had to go back to my why many times last year. Because I'm like, Lord, I don't know what this is. This ain't never happened to me before. But I also believe in pruning of the vine.
Mhm.
Pruning of the vine so that you can flourish and flow. So
Mm.
in 2024, we're in flourish and flow. But
Mm.
last year we were in ebb, honey. We was in ebb for real. Like, no joke. Like, do I need to shut the doors? No joke. But
Wow.
because I am solid in my financial planning, we
Mm.
were able to weather the storm.
Right.
But for quite a whole lot of 2024, we was in ebb.
Right.
And that has never happened to me before.
Wow. And I think that's important. I
Mhm.
think what you said about knowing your finances,
Yes.
that is so key. You got to know your numbers.
You got to know them.
You got to know back, forth, front. However, you
Mhm.
got to know your numbers, where the money is coming in and how it's
Mhm.
going out. And then you got to
Yes.
be able to forecast. If you
Abs
forecast and find out, okay, it's April. Am I going to have, what's coming in, what's on the books for June? If you can't forecast
right.
and I mean, you're in trouble. You got to know your numbers.
Yes. You do have to know your numbers. So
Mhm.
because I was solid in the financial piece of it, we
Mhm.
could weather the storm while
Mhm.
I had to do some tweaks on the sales process, like the marketing and sales
Mhm.
process. Um, but forecasting helps. Like you look into the future for, okay, if I'm going to keep this base number of clients, how many more clients do I need,
Mhm.
just in case I lose another one, right?
Right. Right.
Just in case I lose another. And how can I adjust my team? Because your team is your largest expense when you're a service provider.
Mhm.
How can I make adjustments in the team without harming them and keeping them on board? Because they're good. They're good people.
Right.
So I just had to have some really hard conversations.
Mhm.
Like we ain't where we was, y'all. We ain't where we was. So some adjustments need to be made. And they're all still here. We
That's
weathered the storm together.
that proves that you hired the right
The
people
right people.
and you have a great team.
Yes.
That
Mhm.
that that just proves that your processes that you put in place for your hiring
Mhm.
were great.
Yes.
Now, since 2022, Michelle back in 2022 to Michelle 2025, who are you now? Like, how have you evolved as a leader, as an
Mhm.
entrepreneur? Who is Michelle now?
Yeah. So I am the founder of Mitchell Consulting.
Oh, girl, say that. Okay.
I am the founder. I get the financial benefit from being the founder, but I don't do the work,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Right.
So that's the difference. I see myself differently than I did
Yeah.
so in 2022, I was still doing client delivery.
Yeah.
So now I'm the founder of Mitchell Consulting.
And
So
you said that with such conviction. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have relinquished responsibility
Mm-hmm.
to the team. Is in y'all want a paycheck, so keep it running. Right. So I have relinquished control
Mm.
to the team, even though I am the founder. I
Yeah.
am still the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
I have the last say, but the team is welcome to bring any ideas and they know it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel like you had a little bit of, I shouldn't be calling myself the founder back in 2022? Like, I'm just
Mm,
Michelle and I got a business. But now,
no,
or how did you feel about
in
that?
2022, I did see myself as the CEO. I
Mm-hmm.
did see myself as the CEO. But
Mm-hmm.
what I have relinquished now is that I don't have to be a part of it
Mm.
in order for it to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be a part of it. I
Mhm.
choose to be,
Right.
but I don't have to be.
And that's the markings of a leader.
Yeah.
That's what a leader delegates. I always said
Mhm.
this. A leader delegates and mentors. That's
Yes.
what a leader
And I
does.
mentor my team. I love talking to my team. I'm
Mm-hmm.
always asking them, what do they need in their career and how
Mm-hmm.
can Mitchell Consulting supply that for them?
Mm-hmm.
So I have relinquished that, like, this is my baby.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of business owners, oh, this is my baby, is my blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But I am
Mhm.
also the number one shareholder.
Right.
The number one shareholder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I get benefit from the business. Don't mean I have to work in it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
A
So
hundred
I get
percent.
to do the things that I want to do now.
Mm-hmm. 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 The things that a
Yeah.
true leader
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I know you said you've been in business for 15 years.
Mhm.
What's the vision for Mitchell Consulting now? Like, where do you see it going from here?
So Mitchell Consulting eventually will probably be owned by the employees.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
a shareholder. I'm a shareholder.
Okay.
So, and last year we went back and forth. Do we change the name? Do we keep the name? But
Mm-hmm.
we have such a solid brand that changing the name doesn't really make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I am the founder.
Right.
That's who I am in
Right.
the business. And I get to go off and do other things that I want to do,
Right.
So um and that looks like, Mitchell I'll still always have a part of Mitchell Consulting.
Mm-hmm.
If they choose to take it to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe eventually I'll install a CEO because there's an umbrella company that's forming because I just created, I told you at the beginning, I just created a new LLC, the Red
Oh,
Wallet Collective, which
okay.
is Michelle's personal brand,
Mm-hmm.
which will be my speaking. It's going to hold all of my IP. And I will do high level coaching.
Awesome. Look
High
at
level coaching.
you.
So, because I love getting in it with business owners and
Yeah.
helping them make this transition, because I didn't always have someone that I that mentored me, right?
Right.
That I do have coaches often, often,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes, it's not always about a specific thing. you know, in business, because you go through ebbs and flows. You go through transitions. You go through, like, how do I handle an employee matter versus how do I just get more sales on autopilot?
Right.
You know, I've been through all of that. I've been through all of it.
Right. What would you say to somebody that's a side hustler that wants to take their side hustle and make it their main hustle? What would you say to them right now?
I would ask them, what are they doing between 5 and 9 p.m.?
Okay.
How are you using your time?
Okay.
Because if you want to move from side hustler to full-time entrepreneur, you need the revenue stream to replace your income plus some, right?
Right.
So what are the mechanisms you're going to put in place to keep your job? Keep your job. I'm not telling nobody to quit their job, because keeping stable income is important to the family while you're building this other thing from 5 to 9 or 5 to midnight. You know, what are you doing in your spare time, and how can you leverage that time that will give you the ROI you need so that you're bringing in the income on a side hustle and you still got your main thing, until it flip-flops. And now your side hustle is your main thing. And I'm just doing this job over here because maybe I just need the benefits.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And I can leave y'all whenever I please.
Exactly. And
I don't need you right now.
Exactly. And you want that to be the case. Like, as we're watching things transpire this week in our United States of America, you need an option.
So true.
You need an option.
Right.
And if you have a side hustle, you have an option. You just don't know how to make that side hustle your main thing yet.
Right. Right.
So what are you doing between 5 p.m. or whenever you get off of work and the time you go to bed? What are you doing?
That's good. That's good. Now, if you could sum up your journey from 2022 to now in one word, what would that be?
Growth.
Oh, okay.
Personal growth.
Personal growth. Okay. I like that. I like that. Michelle, I've been away for too long. Y'all might see us back again
Right.
on a weekly basis. But no, for real. No, I really thank you so much. I really enjoyed our conversation. This just proves that, I shouldn't have been away for so long.
Yeah.
And just hearing about your story, you've been in business for 15 years and all of that. I think that is going to inspire somebody. And even if it just takes one person, thank you so much for sharing where you are now from your journey from 2022. So thank you for being on the show. And everybody, tell the people where can they get in contact with you if they wanted to talk to you about your services or get coaching from you. Where can they reach out to you?
So right now you can reach out to me at mitchellconsultingservice.com. You can reach out on Instagram and send me a DM at Mitchell Consulting, Mitchell_consulting. But LinkedIn is probably the best place. Just search for Michelle Mitchell. And, I'll reach back out to you because I want to make a difference in people's lives. And I know business can do that.
Yeah.
But you have to be ready. You have to be ready.
100%. And not only that, be ready to do the work.
Yes. Be ready to do the work.
You could be ready, but you don't want to do the work.
Right, exactly. Because it is a lot of work. That's why only 1% of the total population have businesses.
Right.
Like, it is not easy.
No.
It is not easy.
No.
And it's not for the faint of heart.
Mm-mm.
Because when you go through the ebbs, you need to understand your why. Why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Because it would be easy just to quit. Like, I could have quit last year.
And went
I
back to
thought
work
about it.
and work for somebody.
Yeah, I thought about like maybe I should just quit. Like, I don't need to be doing this no more.
Yeah.
But then I go back to my why.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I want to help my team develop and
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this space to me is profound. You can grow so much as a person
Oh my
being in
gosh.
this space.
Yeah.
Yes.
You learn so much about yourself.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
And you will work so much harder for yourself than you
Mhm.
ever worked for anybody else.
And that's where the reward is.
It is.
That's where the reward is. You're free. I always say live free or die hard.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it work.
Hmm. Yeah, we're gonna make it work.
Yeah, we're gonna
Hmm.
make it work.
Hmm.
Well, Michelle, thank you again for being on the show. And everybody, y'all know the drill. Follow me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, and follow me on Facebook. And as always, I will talk to you soon.
Bye.